Okay, I'm nervous about making this one. Just gonna do it. Just gonna get on with it. Get on with it. Put yourself together. Hey everyone! So, I wasn't sure if I was ever gonna make this video. It's something that happened a while ago, but it's taken me that long to feel ready to talk about. But I really do feel like it's something that's important to talk about, which is why I'm making this video. Basically, a while back, I switched the testosterone type that I was taking from Libido to Testosterone because I was consistently getting very high T levels on the Libido, regardless of like how far apart I had my shot, dose. I tried different things and it was just always consistently high. And I really started dreading the injection. I'm fine with needles, but like this is a big injection. It's a thick liquid. I really didn't enjoy getting it done or getting my bum out for the nurse. Just the whole thing kind of stressed me out. So a little while after I switched back to Testosterone, I had a visit from an incredibly very unwelcome guest. I basically got my period for the first time in like nearly 4 years. It was also ironically a couple months after I just made a video about getting your period as a trans guy. I felt really kind of very awful about it at the time, and it's very hard to explain just how I felt when I realized what was happening.
Hello darkness, my old friend.
But in all seriousness, it was an absolutely horrible moment. Like my heart just dropped and I started feeling panicky and no. And I was completely frozen on the toilet. I was just frozen sitting on the toilet, and I stayed there until my legs were numb and I had pins and needles and I could barely walk. I just found it so hard to stop thinking about it and just snap myself out of it and make myself get on with my day. And I actually found it so hard to make myself deal with it when it first happened. So I was sitting on the toilet for ages. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get the pad to put in my pants. And that feels weird saying, but I couldn't do it. I could not make myself do it, and I was just crying and it was horrible. Like it was a really just yucky moment. So yeah, I was just sat there crying, internally freaking out, not able to do anything. I mean, I'd had no symptoms in the build up to this happening, so it came as a complete shock, like a massive shock. After nearly 4 years of it not happening, I'd kind of forgotten that my body could still technically do that. I mean, for a split second when I first noticed it, I freaked out and I was just like, holy shit, I'm bleeding, what's happening? And then I realized why, and I freaked out even more. But that makes it sound completely terrible, and it was completely terrible on that first day. But after the first day, I was able to kind of just get myself back to normal. It would like snap myself out of this horrible feeling that I just had about myself and about what was happening, and I was able to just get on with my days and with my life and just not feel awful every single second. So I just kind of got on with it. It happened a couple more times. I don't really know why even, because I got my levels on Testosterone checked out and they were perfectly within a normal range. They're like what would be expected. They were lower than what my levels were on Libido, but like they were still fine testosterone levels. Mine is clearly just incredibly persistent and doesn't want to be forgotten. Hey! How you doing? I don't know if you remember me. Do you remember me? Like it's been a long time. I thought I'd just drop by, see how you're doing, just so that you don't forget me. I'm just gonna go do my thing now. Yeah. Yay. But I got everything checked out, my levels checked, all that jazz. There wasn't any specific reason why it was happening. Nothing's wrong, I'm healthy. But yeah, the first time it happened was by far the worst. That first day was terrible. And then whenever it happened again, I still got that frozen on the toilet moment. I got a lot of numb legs. Well, I got 2 numb legs a lot of times. I don't have more than 2 legs. Makes it sound like I've got loads of legs. But it just wasn't nearly as bad as the first time. I was able to deal with it much quicker. So I realized it's happened. I freak out a little bit, feel a bit frozen, feel a bit shit, to be honest, upset, and then I just deal with it. I just get on with it. I kind of go on autopilot, just go through the motions, get on with my days as normal, apart from when I need to do stuff like change the pad. And even then it was just kind of, I didn't think about it, I didn't look at it, I just did it. I worked hard to not let it affect me in a negative way. I know it's so much easier to say that than it is to do it. I just reminded myself that it was only for a few days, it wouldn't last forever, I was gonna get it sorted, and it didn't make me any less of a man. And so kind of when I accepted that, it was very easy, not very easy, it was easier to just be able to move on and get on with stuff. I hope this isn't too rambly. I feel like I'm talking a lot, I'm sorry. I think I'm still nervous about making this video. Yeah, not about what people are gonna say. Yeah, I only told my girlfriend that this was happening. I haven't told anybody else. I don't know why. I don't feel like I'm embarrassed. It's just, I don't wanna say, oh yeah, you know, I got my period back a couple times. I definitely found it much easier to deal with than I had right at the beginning of my transition or like the early stages on T. I mean, don't get me wrong, still horrible. Still absolutely horrible, but manageable this time, and that was the difference. I was able to accept the situation and then just deal with what I had to deal with to get through it, basically. Like before, it felt like it just kind of hit me like a truck and I couldn't get out of that frozen, kind of just really down moment until it was over. It was like I just couldn't cope with what was happening. I basically thought it was important to talk about because it's something that can happen. It doesn't seem that common, and it clearly only happened to me because I switched T-types. I don't know if my body needed some time to readjust or something, but it freaked out. But yeah, it's okay. I definitely found it so much easier to deal with this time. It still wasn't easy, but it was just much easier. And just accepting that it doesn't last forever. Do everything you can do within your control to sort it out. So go see a doctor, get blood tests done, try and find out why it's happening and how you can fix it. But mostly just remember that whatever stage of transition you're in, that although it's hard, like I know it can be really, really hard, you can get through it. It won't last forever, and it does not at all affect who you are. Anyway, thank you for sticking through this slightly awkward, slightly more serious video. I hope it could help. Let me know if this was something that was important to talk about. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.